Lucy's no worse.
Just the same, sir.
Oh, John.
Dr. Seward, what is it? Why have you sent for me?
My dear boy, as I said in my wire, that there was nothing new.
Well, you said no change. Don't worry, let's come at once.
And you lost no time.
Well, I jumped in the car and burned up the road from London. Doctor, surely there must be something more we can do for Lucy. I'd give my life gladly if it would save her.
I'm sure you would, my boy. You love her with the warm blood of youth. But don't forget, I love my daughter too. She's all I have. You must see that nothing medical science can suggest had been left undone.
Medical science couldn't do much for Mina. Poor Mina.
Yes, poor Mina. She died after these same incredible symptoms that my Lucy has developed.
Well, my Lucy, too.
Our Lucy, then.
Good God, what was that?
Only Renfield, a patient of mine.
But you never keep violent patients here in your sanatorium. Lucy mustn't be compelled to listen to raving madmen.
I quite agree, and I'm going to have him sent away. Until just lately, he's always been quiet. I'd be sorry to lose him.
What?
An unusual case. Zoophagous.
What's that?
A life-eating maniac. What? He believes that by absorbing lives, he can prolong his own life.
Good Lord.
Catches flies and eats them. And by way of change, he feeds flies to spiders, fattens them up. Then he eats the spiders.
God, that's disgusting. But tell me about Lucy. Why have you sent him?
Yesterday I wired to Holland for my old friend Van Helsing. He should be here soon. The car's gone down to the station for him. I'm going to turn Lucy's case over to him.
Another specialist on anemia.
Oh, no, my boy. Whatever this may be, it's not anemia. And this man, who speaks a dozen languages as well as his own, knows more about mysterious diseases than anyone alive.
Heaven knows it's mysterious enough, but surely the symptoms are clear.
So the poor Min is perfectly clear. There they are, at it again. Every dog for a mile around.
They seem howls of terror.
We've heard that chorus every night since Mina first started.
When I was traveling in Russia, and the dogs in the village barked like that, the natives always said wolves were prowling about.
I hardly think you'll find wolves prowling around Purley, 20 miles from London.
Yet your old house might be in a wilderness. There's nothing inside except that place Carfax that Count Dracula's taken.
Oh, your friend the Count came in again last evening.
He's no friend of mine.
Now, don't say that. He knows you and I gave our blood for Lucy as well as for Mina. And he's offered to undergo transfusion himself should we need a volunteer.
By Jove, that's sporting of him. I see I've misjudged him.
He seems genuinely interested in Lucy. If he were a young man...
What?
Perhaps. His whole attitude shows that it isn't that. We need sympathy in this house, John, and I'm grateful for it.
Well, so am I. Anyone who offers to help Lucy can have anything I've got.
I think he does help Lucy. She always seems cheered up when he comes.
That's fine. May I go to Lucy now?
We'll go together. That must be Van Helsing. You go ahead and I'll come along presently.
Professor Van Helsing.
My dear Van Helsing. I can never repay you for this.
But if only a patient of yours instead of your daughter, I would have come. You once rendered me a service.
No, don't speak of that. You have done it for me.
Ah.
Let me give you some food.
I dined on the boat train. I do not waste time with this work to
Van
do.
Helsing. You cast the old spell on me. I lean on you before you are 2 minutes in my house.
You wrote me of your daughter's symptoms. Tell me more about the other young lady, the one who died.
Poor Mina Weston. She was a girl just about Lucy's age. They were separated. She was here on a visit when she fell ill. As I wrote you, she just grew weaker. Day by day, she just wasted away. But there were no anemic symptoms. Her blood was normal when analyzed.
You said you performed transfusion.
Yes. Sir William Briggs ordered that. Oh, was she the mom? Well, Lucy herself and her fiancé, John Parker, gave their blood as well.
Sure. 3 transfusions in the effect.
Oh, she rallied after each. The color returned of her cheeks. But the next day she would be pale and weak again. She complained of bad dreams. 10 days ago, we found her in a stupor from which nothing would rouse her. She died.
And the other symptoms?
None, except those 2 little marks on her throat that I wrote you about.
And which perhaps brought me here so quickly.
What were they like?
Oh, just two little white dots with red centers. We decided she must have run a safety pin through the skin of her throat, trying in her delirium to fasten a scarf or shawl.
Perhaps. And your daughter's symptoms are the same.
Precisely. She too speaks of bad dreams. Van Helsing, you've lived in the tropics. Might this not be something alien to our medical experience here in England?
It may indeed, my friend.
Renfield, how did you get out of your room? One of my patients. This is gross carelessness.
Did you hear us talking?
Wait.
Come now, Renfield. You know you mustn't wander about this way. How did you get out of your room?
Wouldn't you like to know?
How are the flies? Mr. Renfield makes a hobby of eating flies. I'm afraid you sometimes eat spiders too, don't you, Renfield?
Well, you walk into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Excuse me, doctor, but you have not introduced me to your friend.
Come, Renfield.
Humor here.
Tell the attendant to come here at once.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very well. Professor Van Helsing, Mr. Renfield, a patient of mine.
There! Who has not heard of Van Helsing? Your works in investigating certain obscure diseases, not altogether unconnected with forces and powers the ignorant herd do not believe exist, has won you a position that posterity will recognize.
Butterworth, you've let your patient leave his room again.
Blimey, sir. I locked the door on him, and I got the key in me pocket right now.
But this is the second time. Just last night you let him escape and he tried to break into Count Dracula's house across the grounds there.
He didn't get out the door this time, sir, and it's a 30-foot drop from them windows. He's just a bloomin' ear. Here now, you come with me.
Renfield, if this happens again, you'll get no more sugar to sweat out for your fly.
There, what do I care for flies now? Flies. Flies are but poor things. Hello, form of life. Beneath my notice, I don't care a pin about flies.
Hey, don't you? Any more of your tricks, and I'll take your new spider away.
Oh, no, please, dear Mr. Bowen, please don't take my spider. He's getting so nice and fat. When he's had another dozen flies, it'll be just right. Just right!
Come, Mr. Renfield. What makes you want to eat flies?
The wings of a fly, my dear sir, typify the aerial powers of the psychic faculties.
Butterworth, take him away.
No, my friend. Under spiders?
Professor Van Helsing, can you tell me why that one great spider lived for centuries in the tower of the old Spanish church and grew and grew? He never ate, but he drank and he drank. He would come down and drink the oil from all the church lamps.
Butterworth.
Hey, wait a moment! Dr. Seward, I want you to send me away. Now, tonight, in a straight waistcoat. Chained so I can't escape. This is a sanatorium, not a lunatic asylum. This is no place for me. My cries will disturb Miss Lucy, who is ill. They will give your daughter bad dreams, Dr. Seward. Bad dreams.
We'll talk about all this in the morning.
Why are you so anxious to go?
I'll tell you. Not that fool Seward. He wouldn't understand. But you... No! I wasn't going to say anything!
What was that?
It was a bat, gentlemen. Only a bat. You know, in some islands of the eastern seas, there are bats which hang on trees all night. And when the heat is stifling, and the sailors sleep on the deck in those harbors, in the morning, they're found dead men. White. Even as Miss Mina was.
What do you know of Miss Mina? Take him to his room.
Please, why are you so anxious to be moved from here?
Save my soul.
Yeah.
You'll get nothing more out of me than that. And I'm not sure I hadn't rather stay. After all, what is my soul good for? Is not what I am to receive worth the loss of my soul?
What's got him going on about soul? Have you the souls of those flies and spiders on your conscience?
I forbid you to plague me about souls. I don't want their souls. I only want their life. The blood is the life.
So?
That's in the Bible. What use are the souls to me? I couldn't eat them.
Or drink them?
You know too much to live, Van Helsing. I'm quietly. I warned you to send me away, Dr. Seward. If you don't, you'll have to answer for my soul before the judgment seat of God.
My friend, you're not hurt.
No.
I was informed you think my play shockingly managed. What was that bird of yours that excited him so?
Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane? What's that, huh? I thought I knew all the drugs in the pharmacopoeia.
It's one of the eremophytes. Pliny the Elder mentions the plant. It grows only in the wilds of central Russia.
But why did you bring it here?
It's a form of preventive medicine.
We live and learn. I never heard of it.
So I want you to have that lunatic securely locked.
Anything you say, Professor Van Helsing. But it's my Lucy I want you to look after
I
first.
want to keep that man under observation.
An interesting maniac, no doubt. But surely you'll see my daughter.
I must see the records of his case.
But, Doctor...
You think I've forgotten why I'm here?
Forgive me. Of course I'll show you the record, but I don't understand why you're so curious about Renton. Your vast experience is
I thought they were here, Lucy.
John, do you think this new man will be any better than the others?
Oh, I'm sure he will. Anyway, Lucy, now that I'm back, I'm going to stay with you until you get over this thing.
Oh, John, but can you? You work in town.
Well, you come first.
I don't think you'd better stay, John. Sometimes I feel I want to be alone.
My dear, how can you say that you don't want me with you when you're so ill? You love me, don't you?
Yes, John, with all my soul.
Just as soon as you're well enough, I'm going to take you away. We'll be married next month. We won't wait till June. We'll stretch that honeymoon month to 3 months, and the house will be ready in July.
Oh, John, you think we could?
Well, of course, why not? My mother wanted us to wait, but she'll understand. And I want to get you away. Why do you shrink when I kiss you? You're always so cold, Lucy. Always so cold now.
Oh, forgive me, dear. I am yours. All yours. Oh, John. John, I'm so tired. So tired.
Lucy, dear, I'd like you to meet an old friend of mine, Professor Van Helsing.
My dear Miss Stewart, you don't remember poor old Van Helsing. But I knew you was a little girl so high. Now what charm, what beauty. A little pale, yes, but we'll soon bring the roses back to the cheeks.
You were so kind to come, Professor.
This, no doubt, is the fortunate young man you are to marry.
Yes, John Parker, Professor.
Look here, Professor. I'm not going to get in your way, but if Dr. Stewart will have me, I'm going to make him give me a bed here until Lucy gets over this thing. It's absolute hell being away in London, and of course I can't do any work.
You're most welcome to stay, my boy.
Indeed, yes, I should have asked you to stay. I may need you. I want you to lie back, so. Tell me, when did this weakness first come upon you?
2 nights after poor Mina was buried, I had a bad dream.
A bad dream? Tell me about it.
I remember hearing dogs barking before I went to sleep. The air seemed so oppressive. I left the reading lamp lit by my bed, but when the dream came, there seemed to come a mist in the room.
The window was open?
Yes, I always sleep with my window open.
Of course, you're English. We continentals are not so particular about fresh air. And then?
And then the mist became so thick I could just see the lamp by my bed, a tiny spark in the fog. And then I saw two red eyes staring at me, and a livid white face was coming down at me from out of the mist. Oh, it was horrible, horrible.
Yes, yes. Go on, please.
The next morning my maid could scarcely wake me. I felt weak and languid. It was as if some part of my life had gone from me.
There have been other such dreams?
Nearly every night since then has come the mist, the red eyes, and that awful face.
Yeah.
We tried transfusion twice. Each time she recovered her strength.
But then would come another dream, and now I dread the night. I know it seems absurd, Professor, but please, don't laugh at me.
I'm not likely to laugh. Tell me, how long have you had those two little red marks on your throat?
Since that first morning.
Lucy, why didn't you tell us?
Lucy, you've worn that round your throat to hide them from
Do
him?
do not excite her. Well,
I was afraid they would worry you, for I knew that Mina had them.
quite right, Miss Lucy, quite right. Then, Lord Van Helsing will see that these dreams trouble you no more.
Count Dracula.
Good evening, Count.
Gentlemen, Miss Stewart, how are you? You're looking more yourself this evening.
I'm feeling better already, Count. Now the father's old friend has come to help.
Count Dracula, Professor Van Helsing.
A most distinguished scientist whose name I know even in the wilds of Transylvania. But I interrupt the consultation.
Oh, not at all, Count. It was good of you to come, and we appreciate your motive.
Yes, Dr. Seward has told me of your offer, and I can't thank you enough.
It is nothing. I should be grateful to be permitted to help Miss Lucy in any way.
Oh, but you do, Count. I look forward to your visits. They seem to make me better.
So I arrived to find a rival in the field.
You encourage me, Miss Stewart, to make them more frequent, as I should like to.
I am always glad to see you.
Ah, but you have been lonely here, and my efforts to amuse you with our old tales will no longer have the same success now that you have Professor Van Helsing with you, and especially now that Mr. Harker is to remain here.
How did you know I was going to stay, Count?
Can the gallant lover ask such a question? I inferred it, my friend.
Well, you're right. Nothing's going to shift me now until Lucy's as fit as a fiddle again.
Nothing.
Please, come as before, Count, won't you?
You understand you're not to answer any bells? She is not to be left alone for a single moment under any circumstances. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. The maid will take you to your room. Try to rest for a little while I talk to your father.
Well, remember, don't leave her alone for a moment.
Oh, no, sir.
So, Professor Van Helsing, you come from the land of the tulip to cure the nervous prostration of this charming girl. I wish you all the success.
Thank you, Count.
Do I appear officious, Dr. Seward? I am a lonely man, and you are my only neighbors when I'm here at Carfax, and your trouble has touched me greatly.
Count, I am more grateful for your sympathy than I can say.
You, like myself, are a stranger in England, Count?
Yes, but I love England, and the great London. So different from my own Transylvania, where there are so few people, and so little opportunity.
Opportunity, Count.
For my investigations, Professor.
I hope you haven't regretted buying that old ruin across there.
Oh, Carfax is not a ruin, Dr. Seward. The dust may be deep, but we are used to dust in Transylvania.
Do you plan to remain in England, Count?
I think so, my friend. The walls of my castle are broken, and the shadows are many, and I am the last of my race.
It's a lonely spot you've chosen, Carfax.
It is, but when I hear the dogs howling from far and near, I think myself back in my own castle Dracula with its broken battlements.
Ah, the dogs howl when there are wolves around, don't they?
They do, my friend, and they howl here as well, although there are no wolves. But you wish to consult the anxious father and the great specialist. May I read a book in the study? I am so anxious to hear what the professor has to say and learn if I can be of any help.
By all means, Count. Very kind of Dracula with his damned untimely friendliness. But now, what about my daughter?
Yes, Professor, what do you think is the matter with Lucy?
Your patient, that interesting Renfield, does not like the smell of wolf's bane.
Good heavens, what has that got to do with Lucy?
Perhaps nothing.
In God's name, Professor, is there anything unnatural or occult about this business?
Occult? Van Helsing.
So, but let me remind you that the superstitions of today are the scientific facts of tomorrow. Science can out-transmute the electron, the basis of all matter, into energy. What is that but the dematerialization of matter? That dematerialization has been known and practiced in India for centuries. In Java, I myself have seen things.
My dear old friend, you can't have filled up that fine old brain of yours with Eastern moonshine.
Moonshine?
But anyway, come now. What about my daughter?
Stuart, if you won't listen to that, may be more difficult to believe than in any Eastern moonshine. You will forget your textbooks. Then keep an open mind, Stuart. Your daughter's life may pay for your pig-headedness.
Go on, Professor.
I am listening.
Then I must ask you to listen calmly to that I am going to say. Sit down. You've both heard the legends of Central Europe, of the werewolves, the vampires.
You mean ghosts who suck the blood of the living?
If you wish to call them ghosts, I call them the undead.
For God's sakes, man, are you suggesting that Mina...
Of course I am familiar with these horrible folk tales from the Middle Ages, but I know you better than to suppose.
That I believe them? I do believe them.
You mean to tell us that vampires actually exist, and that Lucy and Mina have been attacked by one?
Well, your English doctors would all laugh at such a theory. Your police, your public would laugh. The strength of the vampire is that people will not believe in him.
Is this the help you bring us?
Do not despise him.
Dr. Seward, this case has stumped all your specialists. Go on, Professor.
Vampires are rare. Nature abhors them. The forces of good combine to destroy them. But a few of these creatures have lived on for centuries.
What is a vampire?
Vampire is a man or a woman who is dead, yet not dead. Thing that lives on after its death by drinking the blood of the living. It must have blood or it dies. Powers last only from sunset to sunrise. During the hours of the day it must rest in the earth in which it was buried. Night has the power to prey upon the living. Seward, I see you're thinking you'll have to put me amongst your patients.
Van Helsing, I don't know what to think. I confess I simply can't follow you.
And what makes you think Lucy's been attacked by such a creature?
Dr. Seward's written account of these ladies' symptoms first aroused my suspicions. Anemia. The blood of 3 men was pumped into Miss Mina's veins, yet she died from loss of blood. Where did it go? Had your specialist any answer? The vampire attacks the throat. He leaves 2 little wounds, white with red centers. Dr. Seward, you wrote me of 2 such marks on Miss Mina's throat. An accident with a safety pin, you said. So I suspected, I did not know, but I came upon the instant. And what do I find? The same 2 little wounds on Miss Lucy's throat. Another safety pin, Doctor?
Do you mean you built this entire nightmare out of a safety pin? It's true. I can't make out why Lucy hid those marks.
I could tell you that.
What? No, I don't believe that. Lucy's trouble can't be that.
Well, I do believe it. This theory accounts for all the facts that no one's been able to explain. We'll take her away when this thing can't get.
You will not want to go.
What?
Your force on the shock may be fatal.
But why won't she go if we tell her life depends on it?
Because the victim of the vampire becomes his creature, linked to him in life and after death.
Professor, this is too much.
Lucy, become an unclean thing? A demon?
Yes, Harker, now will you help me?
Yes, anything. Just tell me what to do.
Dangerous work. Our lives are at stake, but so is Miss Lucy's life. So is her soul. We must stamp this monster out.
How do we stamp it out now?
This undead thing lies helpless by day in the earth or tomb in which it was buried.
A corpse in a coffin?
A corpse, if you wish, but a living corpse, sustained by the blood of the living.
We can find its earth home, a stake driven through the heart destroys the monster. But this is our task. For in such a case, the police, all the powers of society, are as helpless as your doctors. For what balls or chains can hold a creature that can turn into a wolf or a bat?
A wolf? Dr. Seward, those dogs howled. I told you they howl that way in Russia when wolves are about. And a bat. Renfield said there was a bat.
Well, what of it?
Your friend Renfield does not like the smell of wolf's bane.
What in the world has your wolf's bane to do with all this?
Vampire cannot stand the smell of wolf's bane.
You suspect that, lunatic?
I suspect no one and everyone. Tell me, who is this Count
Dracula? We really know very little about him.
When I was in Transylvania, I heard of Castle Dracula. A famous voivode Dracula who fought the Turks lived there centuries ago.
I shall make inquiries by telegraph. But no, after all, this thing must be English, or at least have died here. Its lair must be near enough to the Southport to get back there before sunrise. Oh, my friends, I have only the old beliefs with which to fight this monster that has the strength of 20 men and perhaps the accumulated wisdom and cunning of the centuries.
Professor, this all seems a nightmare, but I'm with you.
And you, Dr. Seward?
It all seems preposterous. But everyone else has failed. The case is in your hands at present.
I need allies, not neutral.
Very well, then. Do as you will.
Good, then bring your daughter here.
What are you going to do?
We set a trap as Lucy is the bait.
But we can't let you do that.
There's no other way. I believe this thing knows I plan to protect Miss Lucy, and this will put it on its guard.
The first moment she is alone, it will no doubt try to get at her, for a vampire must have blood or its life and death ceases.
No, I forbid this.
She's my daughter, and I agree. You'll show the professor he's mistaken.
You allow it only because you don't believe. And I do believe. My God, Doctor, I heard that lunatic laugh. Life eating, you say you must. You subject Lucy to that risk.
I must be master here, or I can do nothing. I must know in what form this creature appears before I can plan how to stamp it out. Bring your daughter here.
Pardon, sir. Is Dr. Stewart here?
What do you want with him?
Oh, Clark has escaped again, sir.
Escape? How?
Oh, blimey, out the window. His door's still locked, and I was in the corridor the whole time. It's a 30-foot drop from his window to the flagging below. That dude's a bloomin' flying squirrel, he is.
Say nothing to Dr. Seward at present. Do you hear? Nothing. Now go.
Here. All right.
John, Father.
Lucy, you have nothing to fear.
I want you to lie down here, my dear.
Oh, but Doctor.
Well, you trust me, do you not? I want you to lie down for just a little.
Oh, but I'm so frightened.
Make your mind passive. Try not to take sleep if you
Oh,
can.
I dare not sleep. It is when I sleep that...
I know I am going to cure you with God's help.
Father?
You must do as the professor says. Come, Harker.
Come on.
Ah, you're right.
Lucy, speak to me!
How come take your room quickly?
Patience is better, I hope.
Anything in the governor's pet loony? He's out here, yes.
And what will he be doing here? You'll not keep your job, you won't, if you can't keep that man safe and sound while he gets out every night.
Miss! Don't go.
Miss Lucy's asked for the evening paper.
No, I haven't. And I don't mind telling you, miss, this here job's fair getting on my nerves.
Your nerves? And what about my nerves? Isn't it enough to have doors howling every night and pouring cats bobbing up out of the floor? And Miss Lucy taking on the way she does, with everyone having their veins drained with blood for her. And there's that Sherlock Holmes with the X-ray eyes about. Without you letting that Renfield loose.
Here, miss, I didn't let him loose. But just now he's a noise like a wolf howl. And I opens his door with me key and what does I see? But his legs going out the window like he's trying to climb down that smooth wall. He ain't human, he ain't.
Climb down the wall.
Climb down the wall. Yes, I don't expect you should believe me, miss, but I've seen it. And once more, I grabs hold of his feet.
Climbing down head first like a bat.
Queer you should mention the bats, miss. Because just as I gets hold of him, a big bat flies in and hits me right in the face.
I know where that bat came from.
You do? Where?
Out of your belfry.
No, miss. It's God's truth that I'm telling you. Out that bat flies and the loony is gone. But I heard him laugh. God, what a laugh. I'll catch you from the governor for this.
If you tell the governor any such tales, he'll shut you up with the loony.
Lord, mister, you're smartin'. That's just what I've been thinking. I daren't tell him a single thing I've seen and heard. Besides, he's harmless, this bloke.
One night a fly wedding.
Had a fly? Him? He only eats them. Why, he'd just as soon eat a few blue bottles and a pound of the finest steak. And what he does to spiders, miss, is a crime.
It seems to me somebody will be coming after you in a minute. You and your spiders.
Here, miss. It's a queer neighborhood, isn't it? You ever get the feeling kind of lonesome like out there? All by yourself? On your nights off?
Just lately I have a bit. I never allowed it to keep like such shadows before.
Well, if I ever think you'd be needing a escort, miss.
I'll not walk with you in your uniform. People might be taking me for one of your loonies.
In Mufti, then? Tomorrow night?
I say, you haven't wasted much time, have you?
I've had my eye on you.
Better keep your eye on the loony, or you'll not keep your job. Oh! Your governor will be in a minute. Go find your loony.
Oh, all right. But I've got something here what will take him back in his room.
What's that?
This here. Oh. All right. Come on, Cuthbert. We ain't too popular. Some folks ain't got no sense of humor.
What was that?
Oh, pardon, sir. He frightened me with that animal.
Animal? What animal?
All right now, sir.
You mustn't scream. Not in this house, not now.
Sorry, sir, but the lusty little beast.
You alarm Miss Lucy, sir. She's disturbed enough as it is by something in that paper.
Oh, do you mean about the Hampstead Horror, sir? The lady in white gives chocolates to little children.
Never mind that, but I won't have Miss Lucy being disturbed.
Forgive me. My footfall is not heavy and your rugs are soft.
It's all right, sir, but how did you come in?
The door of this room was ajar, so I did not knock. How is Miss Lucy and her nervous prostration?
I think she's better, sir.
Ah, good. The strain of Miss Lucy's illness has made you also ill.
But how do you know, sir? There's only a pain in my head that goes down to my neck.
I can remove this pain.
I don't understand, sir.
Such pains yield readily to suggestion.
Excuse me, sir. But if it's hypnotism you're talking about, I'd rather have the pain.
Ah, you think of hypnotism as an ugly waving of arms and many passes. That is not my method. What is given can be taken away. From now on you have no pain and no will of your own. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
When you awake, you will not remember what I say. Dr. Sword ordered you today to sleep with your mistress every night in the same bed because of her bad dreams. Is it not so?
Yes, master.
Your mistress is threatened by her and by death. But I will save her. A man whose will is at cross purposes with mine has come to this house. I will crush him. Receive your orders. Do you hear me?
Yes, master.
Hear and obey. From now on, we'll carry out any suggestion that reaches you from my brain instantly, without question. When I will you to do a thing, it shall be done. My call will reach you soon.
You've not left your mistress alone.
Dr. Seward is with us, sir.
What's wrong with you, my girl?
It's nothing, sir.
You just had a severe shock.
It's nothing, sir. I have suddenly felt queer, so I can't remember anything.
Mr. Harker's arrived. Go ask Dr. Seward to come here. Remain with Miss Lucy yourself.
Yes, sir. Well, she's dreadfully upset, sir.
Sarah, what?
Oh, it's in the evening paper about the Hampstead Horror. Yes, sir.
No, she's seen it.
Is everything just the same?
Yes.
When I leave this house, even for a few hours, I dread what I may find when I come back.
Well, you may, my friend.
God must have sent you here to help us. Without you, there'd be no hope. And this morning, Professor, when you open your veins to revive Lucy again...
The least I could do. For my lack of foresight was responsible for this attack.
Don't say that.
8 slept with her, yet we found the wolf's bane thrown off the bed to the floor.
She was so weak, so pale. 2 little wounds opened fresh again.
I have prepared a stronger defense. But our main task now is not defense, but attack. What have you found in London?
A lot. Heaven knows what it means, whether it's any use.
I too have news of which I can make nothing.
Ah, John, back from town.
Yes.
We must try to piece together what we have learned today. My colleague in Bucharest advised that the Dracula family has been extinct for 500 years.
And the Count be an imposter?
The castle he calls his own is a desolate ruin near the border. It was built, as you said, Harker, by the terrible voivode Dracula, who was said to have had dealings with evil spirits. He was the last of his race. But for many generations, the peasants have believed Castle Dracula inhabited by a vampire.
Well, then it must be he.
My friends, I am bewildered.
But surely this confirms your suspicion. I was incredulous until I saw that creature hovering over Lucy.
Vampire from Transylvania cannot be in England.
But why?
As I told you, the vampire must rest by day in the earth in which the corpse it inhabits was buried.
In the earth.
Vampire must return to its burial place by sunrise.
I found today that Dracula arrived at the Croydon Airdrome in a 3-engine German plane on March 6th.
March the 6th. 3 days before Mina first fell ill.
This plane had made a non-stop flight from Seckley in Transylvania. It left 2 hours after sunset. It arrived 2 hours before dawn. It carried only the count of 6 packing cases.
Did you learn what was in those cases?
Well, he told the customs people he wanted to see whether Transylvania plants would grow in a foreign climate in their native soil.
Soil? What was in those boxes?
Just plain dirt. He left in a lorry with the 6 coffin-like boxes before sunrise.
Oh, God, yes, before sunrise. The king of vampires, my friends. This creature is the terrible voivode Dracula himself. In a satanic pride and contempt, he even uses his whole name, for who could suspect? For 500 years he has been fed into his castle because he must sleep by day in his graveyard. 5 centuries pass. The airplane is invented. His chance has come. But now he will cross Europe in a single night. He prepares 6 coffins filled with the earth in which he must rest by day. He leaves just after sunset. By dawn he is here in London, safe in one of his cases. A great risk, but he has triumphed. And now he is in London with its teeming millions and its opportunity, as he said.
Oh, God protect my Lucy.
I saw the estate agent from whom he bought Carfax here and got the address of 4 old houses he has leased in different parts of London.
One of his coffin retreats will be in each of those houses.
2 big boxes were delivered to Carfax the day after he took possession.
He has scattered them for safety's sake. If we can find all 6, we can destroy him.
But how?
His native soil will no longer receive his unclean form if each box can be sanctified with holy water.
Well, then we must get at those boxes and tear them open one by one. Professor, if we find him, I demand that my hand shall drive the stake into this devil's heart and send his soul to hell.
Your plan is too dangerous.
But why? These attacks on Lucy continue. Are we to do nothing while my child is dying?
No, not for a moment.
Patience, my friends. A vampire is more than mortal. His cunning is the growth of the ages. How if we find 5 of his boxes enclosed in tomb and cannot find the 6th?
Well?
And he will bury himself in his last refuge, which we can never find, and sleep until we are all dead.
Well, then Lucy will be safe.
Alive, yes, but his unclean kisses claimed her for his own. After she dies, she will become as he is, a foul thing of the night, a vampire can wait. Oh, my friend, the only way to save her from him is to destroy him.
You're right, as always.
We have one great advantage. By day, he is a coffin corpse. Of our search by day, he can know nothing if we leave no traces.
God, this delay.
We must make the round of his houses, find all 6 boxes. Without his knowledge, then we act.
But what about the caretakers or servants?
The houses will be empty. The vampire plays a lone hand.
Bill?
He's been here all about you talking.
Did you hear what we were saying, man?
Yes, I heard. Something. Enough. Be guided by what he says. It's your only hope. It's her only hope. It's my only hope. Save my soul. Save my soul. I am weak and you're strong. I'm crazy and you're sane. You are good and he is evil.
I will save you, Renfield, but you must tell me what you know. Everything.
Now? What should I know? I don't know anything. But you say I'm mad. Dr. Seward would tell you about that. You mustn't pay attention to anything I'll say.
Oh, Van Helsing, we can't waste time with this fellow. I'll have him taken away.
Fool! Fool! And I thought you were wise. The whole world is mad just now. And if you want help, you must come to a madman to get it. But I'll not give it to you, I'm afraid. A wise madman will obey him that is strong, not the weak.
Him? Whom do you mean?
Need we mention names among friends? Come, Professor, be reasonable. What have I got to gain by being on your side? Doctor keeps me shut up all day. And if I'm good, he gives me a little bit of sugar to spread out for my flies. On the other hand, if I serve him...
The blood is alive, eh, Renfield? What have you to do with Count Dracula?
Dracula! I never even heard that name before.
You are lying!
Madmen, Professor, lack the power to discriminate between truth and falsehood. So I take no offense at what most men would consider a front. Send me away. I asked you to before and you wouldn't. If you only knew what's happened since then. I dare not tell you more, I dare not. I should die in torment if I betray him.
Dr. Seward will send you away if you speak.
Yes, Renfield. I offer you your soul in exchange for what you know.
God will not damn a poor lunatic soul. God knows the devil is too strong for us who have weak minds. So send me away. I want you to promise, Dr. Seward.
If you will speak.
Come, Renfield.
Then I will tell you. Count Dracula is... Master! Master! I didn't say anything! I tell him nothing! I'm loyal to you! I'm your slave!
There's a big bat fly in it. Oh, it's gone.
What's that out in the small shrub? It looks like a big grey dog.
Are you sure it was a dog?
Well, it might easily be a wolf, but that's nonsense. Our nerves are making a scene.
Come, Renfield, what are you about to say?
Nothing! Nothing!
Professor, have you seen what's in this newspaper?
Miss Lucy, give that
Are
to
you
me.
Miss Seward?
I am.
Then in the name of the merciful and compassionate God, leave this place at once.
But this is my home. Nothing would induce me to leave.
Oh. That's true. You wouldn't go if they tried to drag you away, would you? It's too late. What a fool I am! I should be punished for this and I can't do any good! It's too late. You're so young. So beautiful. So pure. Even I have decent thoughts sometimes. So I must tell you, and if you don't go, your soul will pay for it. That you're in the power of... The master is in hell! Go Miss Seward! Since you will not heed my warning, I pray God I may never see your face again!
What did he mean, Professor? What did he mean? Why did he say that?
Lucy. That crazy thing in league with the devil. Horrible. And Lucy upset by something in the paper.
Go and get that paper from her.
Whatever it is, she keeps raising the same argument again and again.
Take that paper away from him and come back to me.
Don't you overdo it, Van Helsing. God knows where we would be if you went under. After a transfusion operation, at your age, you ought to be in bed. The loss of so much blood is serious.
I never felt more fit in my life.
All I ask is that you don't overestimate your strength at this time when we all lean on you. Feeling fit, are you? Take a look at yourself in that glass.
Devil. Come! Not as bad as that.
I did not hear you come.
I am often told I have a light footstep.
I was looking in the mirror. Its reflection covers the whole room, but I cannot see you.
Forgive me, I dislike mirrors. They are the playthings of man's vanity. So, how is the fair patient?
The diagnosis presents difficult.
I fear it might, my friend.
Would you care to see what I have prescribed for my patient?
Anything that you prescribe for Miss Lucy has the greatest interest for me.
The prescription is a most unusual one.
The cut is not deep. I looked.
No, but it will serve. Here is my medicine for Miss Lucy. You do not care for the smell?
You are a wise man, Professor. One who has not lived even a single lifetime.
You flatter me, Captain.
But not wise enough to return to Holland at once, now that you have learned what you've learned.
I prefer to remain even though a certain lunatic here has attempted to kill me.
Lunatics are difficult, Professor. They do not do what they are told. They even try to betray their benefactors. But when servants fail to obey orders, the master must carry them out for himself.
I anticipated as much.
For the past 500 years, Professor, those who have crossed my path have all died. And some not pleasantly. Come here. Your will is strong. But I must come to you. More medicine, Professor.
More effective than wolfsbane, Count.
Indeed. Sacrilege.
What was that?
A revolver shot. Comes as a relief, at least that is something human.
Who broke the mirror?
Sorry, I startled you. I saw that infernal bat around this side of the house. I couldn't resist the shot.
Did you hit it?
But I
Bullet was never made, my friend, that can harm that bat. My weapons are stronger.
What do you mean?
Dracula has been here.
Good God!
How did he get in?
You ask how the vampire king during the hours of the night knows what it is, comes and goes, as the wind, as he pleases, my friend. He came to kill me. But I carry a power stronger than his.
What power?
I expected an attack. I secured a dispensation from the cardinal. I have with me the host. He came. I proved my case, but needed proof. The mirror does not reflect this man that was who cast no shot. See, I cut my finger. It leapt at the blood. But before the sacred wafer, it fled.
Lucy must not know.
Miss Lucy knows more than you think.
But how can she? If she knew, she'd tell me.
As these attacks continue, she comes more and more under his power. There is now a mystic link between them. Oh, it is hard to bear, my friend, I know, but you must face it. It may be that he can already learn what passes through her mind, so Miss Lucy must not be told what we know about earth boxes. Well, he may learn whatever she knows.
But, Professor, that would mean Lucy is in collusion with this creature. That's impossible.
No, Miss Lucy, no, you must not!
Lucy, what's in this paper that's upset you?
Read it, John.
No, Harker, no!
Read it.
A Hampstead horror. Further attacks on small children committed after dark by a mysterious and beautiful woman in Hampstead are reported today. Narratives of 3 small girls, all under 10 years of age, tally in essential details. Each child speaks of a beautiful lady in white who gave her chocolates, enticed her to some secluded corner, and there kissed and fondled her and bit her slightly in the throat.
Go on.
The wounds are trivial. The children suffered no other harm and do not seem to have been frightened. Indeed, one small girl told her mother she hoped she might see the beautiful lady again.
So soon. So soon.
You know what's been happening, Lucy?
Professor Van Helsing knows too, Lucy, and he knows how to protect you.
Is it not too late?
No, it is not too late, Miss Lucy.
Those poor innocent children.
You think that Count Dracula?
Not that name.
You think the werewolf has done this too?
Of course, and in the form of a woman. Who else could it be?
It's worse. Far worse.
Worse? What do you mean?
Miss Lucy knows.
The woman in white is Mina.
Mina? But she's dead, Lucy.
She has joined the master.
God protect us all!
Lucy, I will not ask you how you know. But after tonight, no more little children shall meet the woman in life. She shall rest in the tomb in which you laid her. And a soul released from this horror shall be with God.
How can you do this?
Do not ask.
Professor, if you can save Mina's soul after her death, can you save mine?
Lucy, I will save you in God's name, I swear it, for he has given me a sign here in this room tonight.
Then you must promise me one thing. Whatever you know, whatever you plan to do, you mustn't tell me. Not even if I beg you to. Promise me that you will not. Now while I am still yours, while I am still myself, promise it.
I promise it.
No, no, John. You mustn't kiss me. Promise me that you never will. Not even if I beg you to.
I promise.
Miss Lucy, from tonight on, one of us will stay awake here in this room next to your bedroom all night long with the door open.
You are so good.
Yes, and I shall make your room safe for you. Your maid will be with you. Darkness. Rub this over the window in the little room there. Rub it around the sash and especially above the lock. See, I have made this wreath for you to wear around your neck tonight. While you wear it, these dreams cannot come. Swear to me you will not take these things off.
I promise.
Swear it on the cross.
I swear it.
Professor, surely the host is more powerful than this wolfsbane.
Of course.
Well, then leave the host with her. Nothing can harm her then.
The host cannot be used where there's been pollution. What is it?
It's Renfield, sir.
Why haven't you got him locked up?
Because he's bored himself in. He's got hold of one of the patients and he has a boiling throat.
Human blood now. Come, Stuart. Come, Parker.
I'll turn him out and sack away.
It's all right, darling. I'll be back.
Oh, don't you leave me too.
Of course I will, Miss Lucy. It's not but a quarrel among the patients. Mr. Harper will be back soon. Here, Miss Lucy. These evil-smelling flowers have made you faint. It is so close, madam. A little air.
What is it?
Anybody what wants my job can have it.
What's the matter?
I knows what I knows, and I seen what I saw. And I opposite on the first train, and I don't ask no wages in lieu of notice.
Where's Renfield?
If you ask me, sir, I says he's probably paying a little visit to Al.
You've let him escape again?
Now listen here, sir. I've been, so to speak, resigned. I don't got to put up with no more from none of you. A man can't help what a man can't help, and that's that.
Can't you see that Dr. Stewart is not hell? Would you desert him and he needs all the help he can get?
Well, seeing as how you put it that way, sir, I never was the kind of man to run under fire. But I'm sick and tired of being told off for what ain't my fault.
We don't blame you. No bars or bolts can hold Renfield.
Now you're talking sense, sir. I am in a straitjacket this time and spent nearly all yesterday clamping bars across his window. And I goes in his room and what does I find? But them bars is pulled apart like they's made of cheese. And him gone.
And try to find him.
Try to find him? Try to find him, sir? I can't go chasing him up and down the walls. I ain't no bloody mountain goat.
The thing marks us. A few hours after he learns what we know and what we have done, he comes here, writes a poor creature of his to himself.
The time that I'm hired on, it's Renfield.
Renfield is serving an apprenticeship to join the vampire king after death. We must prevent it.
Oh, what does Renfield matter? If we are beaten, then there is no God.
We dare not despair, Stewart.
To anticipate in advance what anyone would do who got on the track.
I thought we had him when we broke into Carfax and found 2 of his earth boxes there and then 1 in each of his other 4 houses. When I pried open the lid of the 6th box, I was sure I'd find him lying there, helpless.
Empty.
An empty packing case left us of lying.
He only brought 6 on his plane, so there can be only the one left.
Only one hidden, where we can never find it. Now we put him on his guard.
Yes. It's not half an hour till dawn. Poor John has been sitting up 9 hours with Lucy. She'll be safe at sunrise. He can get some sleep then. If anyone can sleep in this house.
Whoever sleeps or does not sleep, Miss Lucy will sleep at dawn.
Another horror.
Oh, you've noticed how she keeps awake all night now and sleeps by day?
Is this part of the game?
Of course. Sometimes the look that comes into her face.
Don't, man, for God's sakes, I can't stand it.
My friend, you must face facts for her sake.
How could the creature have gotten at her with a wolfsbane and cross around her neck? Suggestions conveyed by the monster?
It must have impelled a maid to remove the wolfsbane and the cross and open the window. I should have foreseen that.
Don't blame yourself, man. The devil is more cunning than we are. Lucy seems better, though. Until this last attack, she's always been exhausted. But last night at sundown, when she awoke after sleeping all day.
There was blood in her cheeks again.
Yes, thank God.
My poor friend, where does that blood come from?
What are you suggesting now? What fresh horrors?
Is not 5:30 in the morning a strange hour for men who aren't crazy to be up and about?
We may get some help from this thing that's still half human. Renfield!
He's after me. He's going to kill me.
Help us and we'll save you.
You? You poor puny man, you measure your brains against his? You don't know what you're dealing with. You, a thick-headed Dutchman, a fool of an alienist, and a young cub of a boy. Why not all the soldiers and police in London can stop the master from doing as he likes?
But God can stop him.
God forbids evil. Why does he permit evil if he is good? Tell me that.
How did you escape through those iron bars?
Madmen have a great strength, Doctor.
Come, Renfield, we know you didn't wrench those bars apart yourself.
No, I didn't. I wanted them there. I hoped they'd keep him out. He did it. And then he called to me and I had to come. The master is angry. He promised me eternal life and live things, big ones, not flies and spiders, and blood to drink, always blood. I must obey him, but I don't want to be like him. I'm mad, I know, and bad too, for I've taken lives. But they were only little lives. betray him for you. I said I served the devil, but I didn't serve him honestly. I don't like women with no blood in them. And yet I warned you and made him angry. And now perhaps you have killed me, and I won't get any more white things to eat. Let me know my blood!
Lucy, you mustn't mind that poor crazed creature.
I don't. He amuses me.
But darling, how can you? Poor devil. Thank God it will soon be dawn now.
Dawn, the ebb tide of life. I hate the dawn. How can people like daylight? At night I am really alive. The night was made to enjoy life and love. Come to me, John, my own John.
Lucy, I'm so happy that you're better and strong again.
I've never been so well, so full of vitality. I was only a poor, washed-out, pale creature. I don't know what made you love me. There was no reason why you should. But there is now.
I worship you.
Then tell me something, John. If you love me, or tell me. Now don't turn away from me again.
You made me promise not to tell you.
But I release you from your promise. There now. What were you and Father and the funny professor doing all day?
I can't tell you, I promise.
You say you love me, but you don't trust me.
I trust you with my life, my soul.
Then prove it. What were you doing over there in Carfax with the hammer and the horrible iron stick? Oh, you don't think I'm asking because I'm just trying to find out whether you really love me. So you try to hide your schemes and your plots. Afraid I'd give them away, are you? You fools! Whatever he wants to know, he finds out for himself. He knows what you do. He knows what you think. He knows everything.
Lucy.
Lucy, please. Please.
Oh, forgive me, darling. I'm sorry. Let me kiss away the tears.
No, you mustn't kiss me. You made me promise not to let you kiss me.
Oh, but you don't know why I said that, John, darling. It was because I love you so much. I was afraid of what might happen. You've always thought me cold, but I've blood in my veins. Hot blood, my John. And I knew if I were to kiss you... Oh, but I'm not afraid now. Come, will you make me say it?
Lucy, I don't understand you.
I want you. I love you. Come to me, my darling. I want you.
Lucy. Lucy.
Harker, save yourself! My poor friend, I warn you. Oh, thank God, thank God.
Don't come to me, John. I am unclean.
Darling, in my eyes you are purity itself.
You love her, and in love there is truth. She is pure, and this evil thing that has entered her shall be rooted out.
What is happening?
Father, you said you could save Mina's soul.
Mina's soul is in heaven.
Tell me how.
It is your right to know now. I entered her tomb. I pried open the lid of the coffin. She lay there, sleeping, but not dead, not truly dead. There was blood in her cheeks, and a drop of blood shone like a red ruby in the corner of her mouth. The stake and the hammer I struck to the heart. One scream, one convulsion, and then the look of peace that came over her face, when with God's help, it made her truly dead.
If I die, swear to me that you will do this to my body.
It shall be done.
I swear.
And I.
My father, my lover, my dear friend, you have sworn to save my soul. And now I am done with life. I cannot live on to become what you know.
No, Miss Lucy, by holy hold sacred, you must never even think of suicide. It would put you in his power forever.
I cannot face this horror that I am becoming.
We will find this thing that has fouled your life, destroy him, and send his soul to burning hell. And it shall be by my hand.
You must destroy him if you can, but with pity in your hearts, not rage or vengeance. This poor thing who has done so much evil needs our prayers now more than any other.
No, you cannot ask me to forgive.
Perhaps I too will need your prayers and your pity.
Miss Lucy, now, while you are yourself, help me.
How can I help you? No, don't tell me. You mustn't tell me anything.
Each time the white face, the red eyes have come, you've been pale, exhausted afterwards. But this last time
he came, he said I was his bride. He would seal me to him for the centuries to come.
And then?
And then... No, I can't tell you.
You must!
Lucy, you must.
He scratched open one of his veins. He pressed my mouth down to it. He called it a mystic sacrament. He made me drink.
My poor friend, I warned you. I broke in when I heard the dogs howling.
The dogs? Then the werewolf must be about.
He is pursuing Renfield.
God, we must do something.
And at once. I shall leave Renfield here as it did Miss Lucy. If the thing appears, then we three shall bar the two doors in the middle.
Bar against that?
Even against that, for we shall each carry the sacred element.
And then?
Then, we do not know. But it will be terrible, for we do not know his full powers. But this I do know. It is 8 minutes to sunrise. The power of all evil things ceases with the coming of day. The sixth earth box is his only refuge now. If we can keep him here till daybreak, he must collapse, and the stake and the hammer are ready. He's here! Come quickly! Put your hand! And this may save your soul as well as your life!
No! Let me hit love! Master! I didn't do it! I said nothing! I'm your dog, your slave! Master, don't kill me! For the love of God, let me live! Punish me, torture me! I deserve it, but let me live! I couldn't face God with all those lives on my hands. All that blood in my conscience.
Did I not promise you that you should come to me at your death and enjoy centuries of life and power over the bodies and souls of others?
Yes, Master. I wanted lives. I wanted blood, but I didn't want human life.
You betrayed me, Renfield. You sought to warn my destined bride against me.
Mercy, mercy, mercy. Don't keep me.
My friends, I regret I was not present to receive your calls at my house.
4 minutes to sunrise.
Your watch is correct, Professor.
Your life and death has reached its end.
By God's mercy.
Its end. Not yet, Professor. I still have more than 3 minutes to add to my 500 years.
And 3 minutes from now you'll be in hell. For 1,000 years of agony will not put you 1 second nearer the end of your punishment.
Silence! How can Miss Lucy forbade this? She asked for prayer and pity. Make your peace with God, O man of us. We are not your judges. We know not how this curse may have come upon you.
You fools! You think with your wolfsbane and your wafers you can destroy me. Me, the king of my kind. You shall see. 5 of my earth boxes you have polluted. Have you found the 6th?
You cannot reach your 6th earth refuge now. Take your true form as werewolf if you will. Your fangs may rend us, but we have each sworn to keep you here for the next 2.5 minutes until you must collapse and we shall make an end.
You keep me. Fools. Listen and let my words ring in your ears all your lives and torture you on your deathbeds. I go to sleep in my box for 100 years. That much you have accomplished against me, Van Helsing. But in a century I shall wake and call my bride from her tomb to my side. My Lucy, my queen. I have other brides of old times who await me in the vaults in Transylvania, but I shall set Lucy above them all.
Should you escape, we know how to save Lucy's soul, if not her life.
Ah, escape, yes, but only if she dies by day. I shall see that she dies by night. She shall come to an earth box of mine at her death and await her master. To do what you've done to my Mina, Van Helsing, you must find her body, and that you will not.
And she shall die by day.
You will kill her. You lack the courage, you poor rat of flesh and blood.
John, silence. He is doomed. This is his revenge. He hopes to trouble us afterwards.
30 seconds.
I thank you for reminding me of the time, Professor.
Arthur, open the curtain. That is the east. The sun will rise just beyond the meadow there.
Clouds are coloring.
God's daybreak.
A pleasant task you have set for yourself, Mr.
10
Harker.
seconds, be ready when it collapses.
The sun! The stake, Professor, the stake! Hold him, Doctor!
I got him.
Up the chimney has a bat. You hear what he's saying?
God will not permit. What's to be done now, Van Helsing?
We should trick Renfield into showing us. Dare we leave Renfield here on Earth to become a slave when he dies?
But he's human. We can't do murder.
I'll do it if you won't, Doctor.
Go to your office and get some painless drug.
Professor, they're going to kill me! Save me! I'm
Be sure to select credits and pass it. Go!
I don't think there was a person.
There's a combination we'll have to break through somehow. I can quick the hammer! Protect us.
Is Harker there?
He's gone for a lantern.
I've reached the bottom.
Be careful, man, I'm right behind you.
What sort of place can this be?
It's an old vault.
No!
Oh, what is it, man? Where are you?
That's all right, I'm sorry. A big rat ran across my foot.
Where are you? What is this
You
place?
can't say.
This place smells horribly of bats.
Animals smell like the lair of a wolf.
That's what it is.
There's absolutely nothing here.
Here's another passage.
I thought so. That must lead to Carfax. His 6th earth box must be hidden somewhere here.
And the monster is in it.
You can't be sure. Renfield!
Where is it?
Over there somewhere. Just because Renfield knew of this place doesn't mean the vampire's here.
The vampire's life or yours? Look at him, man. Look at him. He knows.
And then nothing!
He's out here, but he wouldn't let me drag him back. There it is. Quick, the stake.
No. What a horrible undead thing he is lying there.
Let me drive it in deep.
That's over the heart box?
Yes.
See his face now, the look of peace.
He is crumbling away.
Thank God we're free.
Father? Father? John?
Loose, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. moment, ladies and gentlemen, just a word before you go. We hope the memories of Dracula and Renfield will not give you bad dreams, so just a word of reassurance. When you go home tonight and the lights have been turned out and you're afraid to look behind the curtains and you dread to see a face appear in the window, why, just pull yourselves together and remember that after all, there are such things.